And welcome to a special Labor Day episode here on this beautiful day in Fraud City, USA, also known as Prop City, USA, here with my main man, Hank Chisholm.
Wow, good choice.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that this was a
matched.
special show. That's exciting now, though.
Don't you know? It's a Labor Day special.
I told you it was Labor Day.
I knew it was Labor Day.
Well, I didn't.
My wife's a teacher. My kid's at home. I know all these things. Oh, geez. That reminds me. I forgot to pay my daycare lady. We will do that as soon as we are done with this episode. Hank, what a weird weekend we had. Somehow, even though I lost 6 bets on the Avs, I was able to salvage the weekend. With the Dodgers going over 5.5 runs, an odds boost on the UFC and Alistair Overeem to get the unlikely KO finish in the 5th round. The Heat getting the big. I mean, they were plus 180, but the big upset to go up 3-0 against the Bucks. Friday's show had a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Obviously, we are devastated by the Avs losing. Besides, as fans, besides from the fact that we had this roll going where it was one day after the other. It was a new playoff game. I lost a lot of money in futures.
I did too.
That free bet I put on the series line. So that was a massive, massive, massive bummer. But really, the big takeaway, and then we're going to get to your devastating news because I know you almost won it all only to lose your ass on Sunday. So
it was a rough weekend. We're
going to get into that. But my strategy going into Friday was, we're taking the Vancouver Canucks because they're at too good of odds in Game 7. We're taking the Heat because plus 180, too good of odds. And then, we could have done that with the Rockets, but I said, no, the Rockets are the one team I wouldn't take wrong. They won. They would have made me 2+ units. The Rockies go to the Dodgers. They haven't won in eons. You're getting them in like the plus 300s every single series. Guess what? They won 2 of 3. They should have won 3 of 3. Yeah. And you would have made had we stuck to that strategy, forget breaking even though we had 6 losses on the Avs, we'd be up like 10 units this weekend. It would have been insane. So that's, time and time again, the sportsbook's making money because these dogs hit. And the public just wants to be obsessed with all these favorites. Speaking of favorites obsession, the biggest favorite in a long time in Grand Slam tennis. Did you see what happened to Djokovic?
I'm not. Oh, yes, I actually did. This is the one thing about tennis I know.
Right.
Yeah, because
everyone knows it.
SportsCenter Instagram decided that it should actually get back to showing sports, but not what actually happens, but the throat shot or whatever happened there.
Dude.
Ugh.
So, I mean, anyone who had the field in the U.S. Open and looked like an idiot just a couple of days ago, now they're like, wow, it's amazing. So sports are incredible. Don't take anything for granted. And, hey, we salvaged the weekend in part because we know this. But rough Sunday for you, huh, buddy?
I mean, Sunday, Saturday, Friday. I mean, ever since the Avs lost, because just like you, I had a bunch of things riding on that. And, then you get into the Nuggets game, which was the one saving grace for me that they actually won that game. Otherwise, I might be out on the street asking. No, I would have come into work because that's actually, I have a real way to make money.
There you go.
But
there you go.
Things would be rough. Yesterday, I mean, I had a few bets going. And yesterday was supposed to be my big cash out day where I was going to pull a bunch of money out of DraftKings and I was planning ahead. And, for me, the way that I go about it, it's okay, I'm down to $10 in the account. That means I'm making $1, $2 bets trying to make my way up. Once I have some money in there, I start taking a couple shots, see if I can put a little bit more money in that account before I pull it out. And they all just barely missed. LeBron missed the triple-double by 1 assist. After I was texting you, I thought he had it. I was misreading the stat sheet. It's defensive rebounds and then rebounds. I saw 11 and 11. I thought one of those was assists. So that got me. I needed 2 more rebounds from Covington.
Yeah.
That would have been 10 or a 1 unit.
Yeah,
to
so
pay.
you had
14 unit, 15
parlay,
units.
Then you had money on the Rockets to
just
pull
to
off
win.
the upset, which looked good for a minute. And then you had LeBron triple-double. Just the LeBron triple-double would have salvaged everything.
Yep.
And you thought you had it as you're texting me.
Yep.
Only to realize, oh no, he just has 9 assists.
It was a pretty brutal day.
This was right as the
seconds
were
days.
counting down in the game, too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there was no salvaging it anymore.
Nope. It was
Ooh,
it was
tough.
really, really tough. But here we are again. And it's not like I'm in bad shape. I built up some equity so that I could handle a rough weekend like the one I had, and I think I have some good picks.
That's your strategy. Now, I told you before we went on air that I would tell you I developed a new strategy to not lose money, be invested in the Rockies, and help the Rockies to win by countering some action. So here's what I do.
Okay.
When the Rockies are down,
Yep.
I strongly consider taking a live bet on them to take those good odds and counting on them to come back. Just like yesterday, they were
Yep.
down, 6-5, and then Matt Kemp hits a 2-run jack.
And I tried to get in on that. I
You
tried.
didn't.
And so I was just trying to throw like half a unit down,
Yeah.
parlayed with the Nuggets to win tonight. And so first, I forget who it was in front of Kemp who made it on base.
Yeah, I forgot that.
And so when that happened, like the odds were changing, so my bet didn't go through. And I tried again, and the odds changed again. My bet didn't go through, and then they were suspended, and Matt Kemp hit the bomb. Would have been half a unit that would have paid 8 units if the Rockies pulled through, which they did, and then the
See, you're getting
Nuggets pulled through
amazing
tonight.
odds.
Yeah, but it just didn't work out for me.
The strategy, though, to make the Rockies win is you look at it, but you don't pull the trigger. You say, no, I won't. That then pushes all that karma. All of a sudden, you haven't invested money, but you've invested thinking and looking at the odds and almost pushing the trigger. And now the Rockies, because you haven't done it, will screw you by winning and pulling off the comeback. You won't lose money, but you'll still be invested. You wish you would have won money, but that's how I'm countering things. I take great credit for having done this and allowing the Rockies to win 2 of 3 at Chavez Ravine there.
And maybe my mistakes were the reason that the Rockies actually did pull it off. Maybe if my bet had gone through, it wouldn't have happened. And now I feel much, much better. That was a rough day, though. That was a rough day.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I'm over it, though. It's time to get to today's
Your debut episode on bets went really well.
Yeah.
And I kind of got bullish. Like the next day I had 11 picks and everything. Hasn't been the greatest run since that epic first day.
No.
So time to turn it around, and it all starts with these Nuggets plus 360.
Yeah. I mean, how do you not take that? How do you not take that? And that's another one of those things where, like, I saw that and was like, I'm getting in on it. That's why I was looking at the Rockies where I was like, okay, I can throw some small bets on here, just build some value. And it worked for the most part. I have some value already by, like, multiplying those odds, because when you are, like, the deep underdog, it's pretty easy to get those jacked up quite a ways. You know, that you said they're, like, plus 360. I was looking at this morning, you know, if DJ, who's, like, Dustin Johnson, a pretty heavy favorite to win the tournament, if his odds fall from, like, minus 500 to minus 300, you parlay that with the Nuggets, all of a sudden that's jumping from plus 360 to plus 530. And see, those are the things that I'm just like, okay, just watch him during the day and see if you can just bump up these Nuggets odds a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's just too good to pass up after what we saw in Game 2.
Yeah.
Now Jokic is questionable with the wrist injury. We're hoping he plays. I think that the questionable status, the fact that he still played all of Game 2, I'm optimistic that he'll be playing, but that, of course, must be monitored. I'd expect this line to swing a little if he is cleared to play.
What really scares me, though, is that the second half of that game, he only took like 2-3 shots after being a shooter in the first half, putting up points. Is that because of the wrist injury? You know, even if he does play today, are we seeing that second half Jokic where he isn't taking the shots? And maybe because of that, the defense is spread out. They aren't all packed in around him. The passing lanes aren't there. The Jokic thing does scare me.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, look, it's Jokic. I mean, it should scare anyone betting on the Nuggets for sure. But that injury, plus some of the things that the Nuggets were able to do defensively, makes me think that the under, finally, for the first time this entire playoffs, for the Nuggets, the under is primed for the taking at 220. That's a little too high for what we were able to see, for what both teams kind of figured out defensively. And the fact that, you know, that's... If you limit these teams to be more jump shooting teams because you've taken away their primary options, then the ball, it's not going to be one of these high scoring games like it was in Utah versus Denver, you know.
I really like that. I hadn't thought of that yet, but it does seem like, you know, that Clippers team, it's built around its defense. You know, that's their pride is just based on their defense.
Yeah.
I think that even if Jokic is healthy, they're going to go out there with an extra focus on making sure they get that defense back this time. With Jokic hurt, I think maybe it's even the Nuggets under, as much as I hate to say it.
Without Jokic 100%, that's another one where, I mean, you're going a little more on the safe side. Two bets I think are on the safer side is they are extremely, extremely reliant on Gary Harris and Jeremy Grant in this series. Two guys who played their butts off in game 2, some phenomenal defense with how much they're relying on them on the defensive end. I think these two props for points scored by either seem pretty easy to hit. Gary Harris over 9.5. If he's on the court that long, that seems like a pretty nice bet at plus 110. Jeremy Grant set at 13.5. That one's got me a little more skeptical, but look, it all comes down to, making a couple of those open shots. And I think Grant's due. Another really interesting one, points, rebounds, and assists combined for Gary Harris over 14.5.
I like that. I like that a lot more than the 9.5.
Right.
Yep. And even if you are skeptical, especially that Jeremy Grant stuff, I might look at some of the alternate lines. I'm not sure if they're up yet, but maybe if you can still get some value and bump those numbers down just a little bit, make sure you win. Maybe that's just me being kind of scared right now after a rough couple of days, though.
Here's another Jeremy Grant one. Points, rebounds, assists combined for him, 19.5. Don't love it as much as the Gary Harris.
Agreed.
Come on, he's going to get his boards. I mean, he'll get enough points. This one seems really easy. Tell me what you think. Rebounds for Grant over under 4.5.
He's got to get 5,
Dude,
right?
Come on.
He's got to.
He's going to be on the court that often. He's got to get it.
Especially Jokic with a bum wrist, maybe not trying to get those as much, maybe not as active on the boards in the way that we saw in the last game.
Or maybe not playing as many minutes anyways.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Here's one that seems like way too easy. You know how they have these matchup props?
Yeah.
Jamal Murray to score more points than Paul George, minus 134.
Yeah, especially Paul George has been off in these playoffs.
He's been garbage.
He's had like a couple of big games, and those big games are why you're still getting minus 134 and not minus 200 on that.
Right.
But those big games don't really scare me. Like odds are he's not going to have one tonight. If you just look at the percentages based on all of this, I think that's a good bet.
And with Jokic slowed down, this is like a 30-point night for Jamal.
If they win, it is.
Fair enough. So that's kind of emptying the clip, but I think those props is really where I'm focused in, where I think we're getting some pretty nice value just because Grant was phenomenal against Kawhi. Gary Harris is key, in this entire series for his defense on the perimeter. Yeah, I just think they're getting so many minutes. These should be easy covers, and almost all of those props you're getting at even money or certainly under that like minus 150 line. So pretty nice. Anything else you like on Nuggets Clippers before we move on to some more NBA talk?
I think you covered it. I think my one piece of advice, that plus 360, find ways to boost it. One of the ways to boost it is that DraftKings actually gives out a live boost of 33% for one pick in the NBA every game. If you use that right after tip-off, assuming it's still at plus 360, you can bump that up to, what would that be, plus 480? So take advantage of that, and I think that that's a good way to use it. You want to use it on plus odds. You get more value out of it.
I love that.
If you want to wait for maybe the Clippers to take a lead, that's a risk. The Nuggets led end to end in that last game. That strategy wouldn't have worked. But, it's worth considering to hold off on betting the Nuggets until maybe the Clippers are up 12-7 and then throw that boost on there. Maybe you can get that to plus 520.
But I like what you said originally is you jump in right at tip-off, right as the game goes live. You're still getting the odds you were getting pregame. Sometimes it'll like bump up 20 points just like that. And with that 33% odds boost,
you're not going to do worse. That's for sure.
And, that's the kind of stuff they've been offering the entire playoffs. They've got a ton of other great odds boosts. We talked about the one we took advantage of on the UFC. So, download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DNVR when you sign up to get these can't-miss, deals. And this offer in particular, you can pick any team during week 1 of the NFL season, bet $1 on them and win $100 if they win. That's $1 to win $100 when you use promo code DNVR during sign-up for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. All right, Henry. Series we have had a hard time understanding. Producer Kale was on top of it to start this series because he liked the Celtics. Now the Raptors have amazingly been able to swing it after that insane win in Game 3. Now we're getting the Raptors plus 102. That's the first I've seen them not in minus money.
Yeah.
And you know I'm a value hunter, so that's going to be hard for me to pass up.
Yep, and that's one of my picks that I have right here too.
Wide open, too. Interesting that now the series line for that, they're both at minus 110.
Yeah, and I'm staying away from that for now.
We talked about that. What Friday the Raptors at were like plus 350?
And I really like that. I really like that. I still do like the Raptors to win this series. I'm going to hold off. I don't think that this is going to be like a quick one. I think that this probably does go the full 7. And
stretch it out.
That makes me think like at this point I'm looking for that plus money. With the Raptors at plus 102, that's borderline stay away, take it. I'm taking it right now just because I think they do have the momentum. It does scare me, though.
Yeah. Interesting that the Nuggets plus 600.
I know. Still.
I guess with Jokic and everything, that's the perception. But look, the Clippers showed some cracks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is wide open. I mean, I don't think, if you're power ranking all of the teams that are left, you've got to put the Clippers ahead of the Nuggets. But I don't think there's as much separation as outsiders seem to think. And I definitely don't think that
absolutely
it's like that we've seen enough to say like, oh, there is a team that we should be expecting to win this title. Honestly, you could make a case that the Rockets are more likely. I think the Rockets might have some good value on their series line.
Plus 300.
I know, because I think that is another toss-up series, even though they're going up against LeBron James, who has gone to the finals every time he's been, whatever, that kind of stuff. But
except for last year when he was a Laker for the first time.
I know. And is AD really going to take him from?
Plus 1,300 to win the championship for the Rockets. I was talking with Kale off air. The one that's really juicy is the Miami Heat at plus 500 to win the title.
That is
juicy. Not like the Heat,
especially because of the buyout options. Once they get there, and maybe just taking them to win the East might be a good first step. But it is really time to be
plus
putting
105
some money on
to
those
win the East. They're now the biggest favorite.
See, that's not great value.
But yeah,
maybe not.
Man, plus 500.
I do like that.
They kind of feel like the safest contender right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that they have the fewest holes.
So I think there's some nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, there's some really nice value there, man. The NHL first game for Islanders Lightning. Islanders plus 128, under plus 100. If you're a believer in the Islanders, I would parlay those two things together.
I think the Lightning take the series, and I don't think it's all that tough. I spent after that Game 7 with the Avs, or for the Avs, I spent a few hours talking to the hockey guys here at DNVR. They are certain that the Lightning are the best team here. And
should be.
I think that, what I really like is the series line there. You can get the Lightning minus 1.5 games. So to win 4-2, 4-1, or 4-zip.
Nice.
At plus 102. And I think that that's some good value.
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. I
also like tonight, if you are betting on the Lightning to win, take them to win in regulation, boost those odds up to plus 115.
There you go. Love it. Yeah. Boy, league offices in Toronto have to be rooting for a Vegas Lightning.
Like, right?
Stars Islanders feels ugly, man. Ugly. Yeah. Speaking of ugly, but not really so much right now, but they're staying in California, our beloved Colorado Rockies. They're still dogs with Cal Freeland on the mound against Denelson Lamet, plus 170. Now, in that little sandbox they have out there in San Diego, the over-under set at 8.5. I like the over. I like the Padres over, frankly. That's set at 4.5. Just the way the Rockies have been pitching. The bats have come alive, but the pitching's struggling, so I think they can give up a 5 spot to this hot Padres offense. Look, it's a toss-up. These are huge series for the Rockies. They're coming off the biggest series win, not just of this season, but like a couple seasons now. So I wouldn't count them out. Plus 170 is nice value. I'll be sprinkling. I'm not giving it out as an official pick. And aside from that, I'm not sure what else to take here.
Yeah, I agree. The Rockies are just in a place right now where I am scared to bet on anything with them. I would watch the game and I would make some decisions based on what you see when you're watching the game. You know, if you get a pretty big bump because the Padres go up 2-zip in the first 3 innings, then maybe jump in on the Rockies because their bats are alive right now. But at the same time, you know, if they're up 1 heading into the 8th or 9th, maybe you take the Padres to pull it out and get some good value there because I don't trust this bullpen at all.
Rockies plus 1.5, minus 120.
Plus 1.5, minus
They've
120.
been keeping these games close. You got to give them that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that I like the over. I like your pick of the over.
Yeah.
Because I think it will be high scoring. When it is high scoring, the odds of a close game go down.
Okay, I'm with you. We need to talk football. This, buried in all the Fraud City, Prop City intro, this is the NFL's upon us. We've actually got football. We had some college football over the weekend. We have a game today of football teams you've actually heard before, such as BYU and Navy.
Yeah.
Teams that have produced Heisman's and national championships before. What you got here? You're our resident expert.
Navy. It's
Okay.
Navy all day. It's
What's
pretty
the
even,
spread
the
there?
odds. They're maybe +1, -1,
Ooh.
right around there. Yes. Never bet against a team that is running the triple option in the first week of the season, especially against a team that doesn't play those teams very often. You know, it's not like it's Air Force CSU and they see him every year, so they have some good ideas. We just saw it. We just saw Army put up 42 in a shutout this weekend. This is going to be about the same. Malcolm Perry's gone from Navy, the quarterback who was kind of the key to everything.
Yep.
I hate to say it, it doesn't really matter all that much. You know, you're going to be able to plug guys in. They're going to run the system. This is going to be a pretty it's going to be a fun game to watch, but it's going to be a win for Navy. I'm confident in that.
Love it. I almost had a sneeze come on, but I am able to resist.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, I like that. Just a plus 1.5 favorite. That'll kind of be fun to watch.
Yep, -106 on the money line.
I mentioned U.S. Open. My guy, Matteo Berrettini, he's a plus 125 favorite to win his match today. I like those odds. He's the higher ranked tennis player here. In this one, minus 124, in fact, I apologize, against Andrei Rublev. That's nice little midday betting. You also have Netherlands, Italy playing right now. This feels like a classic national teams tie. You can get that at plus 225. Okay, NFL futures. You mentioned you wanted to mention those. What's got your interest peaked, buddy?
I mean, there are so many options.
Sure is.
Let's just start with getting this out of the way. The Patriots are going to be good. People want to say that the Patriots aren't going to be good. The Patriots are going to be good. I am fully bought in. With Cam Newton, everybody wants to discount him, and that's fair. Like, he's gone through the injuries, and maybe he gets hurt and misses time or whatever. That is a really good quarterback in the NFL, and I think going into that system, which fits him perfectly, what the Patriots have done with Tom Brady fits him perfectly. I think that they're a sneaky pick for whatever futures you want. If you want to get risky and say win the AFC, I wouldn't hate that. At the very least, I'd take them to win their division, especially like
Plus 130.
Yeah, you're getting plus odds on the
I'm with
Patriots
you.
to win their division.
Yep.
Take that every day. The over on the wins, I think are they at 9.5? If I remember correctly, I ran through this morning. I like that too. I'm hammering the Patriots first of all.
Yeah, I've been with you even pre the Cam news, and then the Cam news only has reassured me more. Their win total set at 8.5.
8.5, yeah.
Yep, you can get the over at minus 150. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I do not mind that one bit for the Pats. I think this is the classic kind of Patriots team that Belichick can get to play well.
Yep.
We'll talk again in a year, if how sustainable that is long term. I'm not so sure. But yeah, I think the team comes out pretty motivated.
If they can win with Jimmy Garoppolo and Ryan Mallett, and who is the guy who went to
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. Give them Cam Newton, and they're going to be winning football games. And sure, they're like the guys who left on the defensive side. I love that. Falcons over-under set at 7.5. The over has even odds. I think that they bounce back. I think the Falcons bounce back. I think that that's really good value.
Are we best friends? Yeah, I completely agree. I love the Falcons.
I mean, is that even a question, though? I'm a
Love
little
the
bit
Falcons
offended. You
and
thought
how
that was a
they
question.
played second half last year with for fighting really for Dan Quinn's job, and now in a more wide open NFC South than maybe some are giving it credit for, because the Saints producer Kale doesn't see the Saints faltering, but I'm telling you it's happening. Yeah, I like the Falcons too. I like the Falcons.
Packers at 8.5. I'd take the over there. I think that with Aaron Rodgers, I'll take him to win 9 games. You don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
You just made.
Yeah, producer Kale doesn't like any of these picks. I
see how it
like
goes.
2 of 3. I'm high on the Vikings in the NFC North.
That was my next one. They're over-under set at 9. That means you get your money back if it's 9 wins. They're at plus 123 to go over. That was the next one I wanted to take the over on.
Yeah, plus 160 to win that division too.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get it.
Yeah, I could see that. Anything else in here?
Yeah, and we'll be talking NFL the rest of the week. So I like that
Yeah.
as a starting point. I'm sure we'll talk ourselves into a lot more. So,
Yep.
all right, guys. Well, best of luck. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy placing lots of bets, as hopefully you're off today and not working. And we will see you tomorrow, as always, in a packed week.